What up, guys? I told y'all I can give y'all a video. The special guest that I had couldn't make it today, but maybe we'll do another video vlog with him. But I just want to give y'all guys a 10-minute video on, or maybe a little longer than 10, but I just want to give y'all guys the video that I told y'all I could give y'all, with or without that person. But a little background about myself. My name is Carlton. I'm from South Louisiana. I started fishing. Well, I fished when I was younger, but as getting in your teenage years, you're like, fishing is boring. Let me run out the females. So now that I'm through that stage and I'm an adult now, fishing is seen to be my thing. I started fishing back in 2016, maybe 15. I started back fishing, and my brother-in-law actually, rest his soul, got me back into fishing, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I started YouTubing. The more I got into YouTube about fishing, I started seeing big swim baits. This comes out a year after me fishing regular baits. I was like, oh, that'd be tight to, catch a fish on a big swim bait. So I figured, I ordered a Huddleston and a couple more things. And I went out there throwing, no luck. And I went to certain areas throwing them, and me and my brother-in-law be like, he'll look at me like, you ain't catching shit with that. Like, the quality of fish ain't that good in here. Like, you come out here and limit out, but you ain't gonna limit out on something like that. So as I started doing research, researching and talking, stumbled across Swimbait Universe, got added to that group, seeing guys, what they were doing and what they were using to catch quality fish, which in South Louisiana, we have quantity over quality, and it's all due to a generation that's before me and before them. They eat everything, but I ain't gonna go into that right now. I'll go to that on another date. But throwing big swim baits, me and my partner Justin got in. Well, Justin was already doing it. He was doing it a while, way before I even thought about it. But he had been doing it for some time now. And when I presented the HUD to him, he was like, oh, dude, I've been doing that. Showed me a couple of catches, some nice ass fish, but he ain't have a scale at the time. Some nice ass fish that he had caught on the Huddleston. So right there and there, that like boosts my confidence up. Okay, there's a guy in South Louisiana throwing Huddlestons and catching quality fish on them. And I went out there, grinded. No catch, no nothing to show for it. So I started venturing in other directions and hard baits. I want to say my first hard bait was a bull shad. Yeah, it was a bull shad. And for the love of me, I couldn't figure out how to fish that bait. Watched a couple Mike videos, and I seen how he fished it. He burnt it. Burning paws. But I was like, gotta be one hell of a fish to hit it when you're burning it that damn fast. But I'm like, oh well, I'll give it a try. And it had to be late spring. I was throwing a 5-inch bull shad, and I was casting it like you do a lipless. And dude, I kept throwing it, and I started getting bit on it that day. I was like, oh shit, I was burning paws like a lipless. But I ain't have it burning on top of the water. I had it burning lower in the water column, and it would pause, and they would hit it on that pause like every time. And I remember those fish, to be exact. They were probably about this long, and they would feel like they had been gorging on shad. And I might have caught 5 fish that day on the bull shad in an hour. And I was so amazed at me just pulling these fish off this bull shad. And so that really got me into the rabbit hole. I really got deep. I started buying every popular swim bait that came out. Slide Guy. I had a Piz. Just like a little bit of everything. Ain't too many swim baits I haven't had that's been posted on Swimbait Universe. Till maybe like this year, last year, I really found out the baits that work for me. And I don't dislike no bait company out there, but I just found out the baits that work for me that I have been getting bit on. So I've been keeping it pretty steady with those. And recently it's been DRT for the most part, without the lip end, fishing it like a jerkbait. Suspend strips and quads. The suspend strips make it sit like this. I fish it on 20-pound floral. It's not too many baits that I fish on mono. I fish mono when I'm cranking down in the wintertime because I don't throw glides in the winter. I'm throwing straight crank downs because I feel like the fish are more held on to structure and stuff, things like that. And I also throw soft baits in the spring. I mean in the fall, late fall, going to early winter. And actually this year I got bit on a Huddleston 8-inch 16 rate of fall carp. Boy, a brown trout, I call it a carp because it kind of mimic a carp down here in the south. And this fish happened to be 6+ pounds. And the crazy part is that he didn't grab the stinger hook, he grabbed the jig hook. And I watched this fish eat this bait. I threw it out in the middle and I slowly brought it back in, and I waited. I could see the tail kicking, and I seen a V come up behind it. I'm like, oh, that must be a garfish. I'm like, well, I'll stop and let the garfish hit it and see what he do. Well, when I paused it and he struck and he was fighting, and I've been doing this thing with my reels where I loosen the drag up. I forgot to tighten the drag down, and didn't tighten the drag down. And he was hooked. He was peeing good, and I just used the parabolic, the rod, the bend of the rod to keep him pinned while I tighten the drag up. So I get the drag tight, and I'm trying to reel him and bring him back to the shoreline. And as I'm bringing him back to the shoreline, he get pins underneath the tree root, stuck in his muck. So I'm like, okay. And my partner Jack, he runs down here to help me get him. And he's about to get in the water to grab him. And I'm like, dude, that's okay. I have watched enough Working Class Hero videos and a couple videos on YouTube to see I can bank flip this fish. So I go to bank flip this fish, and the whole bait comes flying out his mouth. This fish thinking he's still hooked. He's in the tree root just flopping. I jumped in the water, brand new work boots on, and to try to save this fish, and dude, he got away. And I threw this bait probably like this color for like 6 months trying to get bit on it. And then when I finally get bit on it, I blew it. But just go to show you, like, when they're that big, it's cool to bend down and pick a fish up. I didn't even have a camera, so I don't even know why I was trying to do that. But yeah, it was definitely a heartbreaking day that day. Some more soft baits I've been getting on is these unique swim baits. It's made by a company called Unique. They're on Instagram. They run for $15 for a 2-pack. They don't come with hooks. You gotta buy hooks. Either 6-aught beast hook or 8-aught beast hook. Also, I never throw soft baits without using scent. I prefer using a gel covered scent simply because it lasts longer over a spray scent. I still use this spiked shad scent. I don't know why, I just do. It's just a confidence thing for me. Also, if you want to get into swim baits and you don't want to spend over $100 or you want to spend $50, there's a guy that makes these little baits called Donkey Bait Swim Baits. It's a Louisiana-based company, and they're on Facebook. You work this just like you would work a weightless fluke. Except this guy, I think this is 11, so that's the rate of fall. So it's real tuned for like top surface over grass. But I fished this during the shad spawn, and this thing got hammered. As you can see, I got quads on there. I put quads on all my baits, size 1, size 2, and 1-aught. I said that backwards: size 2, size 1, and 1-aught quads. I keep them on me all the times. Back to the soft bait. I like to rig my big soft baits with a stinger hook. just in case, but I'm kind of wary of it because if you do happen to get a big girl and she grabs that bait like this here, then 9 times out of 10 this barb hook is gonna get stuck in her throat and she'll probably bleed out. I don't know why I still do it, but it's a confidence thing. I'm probably gonna get out of it. Reels, rods and reels that I'm using, I currently have them in my truck, but if you follow me on Instagram, and pretty much everybody do, I run Leviathan rods. There's a bunch of rod builders out there, L5, Nameless Customs, a bunch of great rod builders out there. I run Leviathan simply because I fish more hard baits than soft baits, and I like the parabolic bend of those rods, so that's my mainly go-to company. But like I said, there's L5, Nameless Customs, and I don't know, it's somebody else. I forgot. Forgive me. And let me see what else. Sponsorships. Don't come into the game looking for sponsorships because these guys build baits on their garage. And they're not able to do sponsorships unless you fishing the hell out of their bait and you're catching big fish and a bunch of big fish on their baits. Then maybe they'll, it's like, hey, this guy, he's buying my baits, he's fishing them, and he's marketing them for me. So yeah, let me give him a couple baits for free since he's doing all this work for me. I mean, because they don't really have nobody to get out there and market their bait like the average angler can. So that's where you come in at. Giving, like I like the Swimbait community because they give a lot. There's a lot of guys out there with some big hearts and they don't mind giving, and I try to give as much as I can to help the little man out because sometimes everybody need that little blessing. You can be a blessing, anybody can be a blessing, but it's okay to, like, hey, dude, if I wasn't fishing one of these and somebody wanted one and they didn't, and I know that for a fact they didn't have the money to buy one, I would give them this bait. I mean, you can't cherish material things. You can't take that shit with you. When you dead, you just dead, and it's still gonna be left to somebody who probably don't give a damn about them, so they might just throw them away. What type of line I like to run? I like to run FC fluorocarbon sunline. I've been running this with all my baits because I fish majority of my baits are being fished either lower all the way on the bottom in the water column or just below the surface because I get a lot of baits in extra slow sink for this main purpose, to keep the bait somewhere between 5 to 10 inches below the surface. So I run sunline fluorocarbon on majority of all my rods and reels anyway. Not because I think it's the best line, it's just what I prefer. I got a partner who throws 250s on 85-pound braid. He enjoys it. I look at him like, man, you nuts. But it works for him. I don't believe in throwing mono on nothing but crank downs because the stretch is everything in mono to me. That's just my personal opinion. Let me see what else I got. I guess I can show y'all a couple of baits that I'm going to fish today. So some of the baits are fairly new, some of them old. They're good, but I'm just gonna show y'all what I'm gonna fish. This here is a trash, what's the guy named? Josh. Josh makes these baits of trashy bass trash or something like that on Instagram. You can check his Instagram out check some of these paint jobs out. Dude is actually good. I think he's from Ohio, I think. But these are some quality built baits. And the best part is they only run $65. So you better jump on them before the price go up. They awesome. I like it so far. Actually gonna be my first time fishing it today, so I'm anxious to check that out. The bass are starting to move up shallow, so they starting to feed on gills real heavy. I seen it a couple days ago I went, but it was overcast and I really couldn't see like talking about. This is another bait I'm gonna be throwing. This is a Matt Lewis 2-piece hard gill. It's not a glide bait. I fished it a couple times since I had it, and it reminds me of throwing a chatterbait. And I actually have a chatterbait this color. Man, this thing dumps hard, and I'm talking about medium retriever, just, and you can see that rod tip just. It's like fishing the chatterbait. I feel like my fishing off here is gonna come off here late in the evening time, same way I fish a chatterbait. And last but not least, I'm gonna be fishing this glide today. It's a BCG painted by Clickbait Customs. That guy does an awesome job on paint. Actually, I think him and Josh are pretty tight, so they paint schemes look like they both awesome. But yeah, that was the baits I'm gonna be fishing today. I'm trying to keep this video kind of short, but I'm almost running at 16 minutes. And I just don't want it to be long because it's going to take a long time for me to upload it. But that's what I'm fishing today. And this is the Matt Lures. I ain't fishing this yet, but I would love to fish it real soon. I'm waiting for a custom rod that I got to get built by Levi Jones at Leviathan. He's building me a custom rod for this. And I might add some little clips to my story just so y'all can see how pressure this thing gonna be. But yeah, I'm anxious to fish that. I also use a lot of cheaper soft baits like these Savage Gears. They work for me. Haven't caught a fish on these yet, but I plan on using them. And that's about it. I try to keep this video as short as possible, but evidently it's running 16 minutes. So, you know, I tried. But if it's boring, y'all can click off it. But if y'all want me to see me do more content, talk, and have more people do a blog, just let me know. And I'll try my best to reach out to some individuals and get them on. So, you know, thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Click the like if you like it. If not, don't like it. Don't hurt me a bit. So, you know, keep it easy. I be with some steppers, I don't care about what you gon' do. Wear shit like the Warriors on my